California's Gavin Newsom threatens to pull billions if USC signs Trump compact. A 23-year-old climbing star dies in a fall from Yosemite's El Capitan. A rogue planet is expanding at a record-breaking rate of 6 billion tons per second. Concerns about the future of U.S. democracy have lessened in a new survey compared to 2022. A statue of Trump and Epstein holding hands returns to the National Mall. A drug maker's announcement that the FDA approved an abortion pill riles some conservatives. Apple removes the ICE Block app after criticism from the Trump administration. Putin praises Trump but warns that supplies of U.S. long-range missiles to Ukraine will badly hurt ties. A lawmaker says Trump must reveal what he's done with a missing $17 trillion investment bonanza he keeps boasting about. AOC strongly criticized Trump's government shutdown plan. Trump casts a shadow over the Nobel Prizes as the awarding body warns that academic freedom is at risk. Lawrence O'Donnell mocked Trump's makeup, calling it evidence of poor judgment. Flights were cancelled at Munich airport after drone chaos. Russia says it's no longer a Cold War but a fiery conflict with the West. A lithium stock is soaring again thanks to government funding. A fired ESPN host issues a warning to America. The U.S. Supreme Court expands its emergency docket, increasing Trump's power. Iowa soybean leaders criticize Trump's trade policies as a bitter pill for farmers. Haitians cautiously welcome a new international force approved by the UN to tackle gangs. Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway may have made a genius $10 billion acquisition. Caroline Leavitt scolds a New York Times reporter over Jared Kushner profiting off the Middle East. The Supreme Court will consider overturning Hawaii's strict ban on guns on private property. A new MAGA activist is caught asking for thousands in a sting. Fox News mocks Trump's ignorance about Project 2025. Microsoft names a new CEO for commercial business as Satya Nadella focuses on tech. A Michigan woman forgave a church gunman who killed her father. Quantum computing could generate $1 trillion by 2035, boosting AI stocks. An interstellar comet swings past Mars as spacecraft observe. Obamacare subsidies remain a core issue in the government shutdown. A U.S. warship joins NATO's mission to stop undersea sabotage. Retired Army General Wesley Clark reacts to a controversial speech. A wealthy NYC family argues with neighbors over an indoor pool. Nuclear fusion is finally approaching reality to power AI. China's Coast Guard holds celebrations at a disputed shoal claimed by the Philippines. J.D. Vance accuses Democrats of taking the economy hostage during the shutdown. Venezuela claims U.S. combat planes provoked it near its coast. A man pleads guilty to throwing a Molotov cocktail at deputies during an L.A. protest. Chevron vs. Exxon. Crude oil prices are falling back toward $60 a barrel, but both companies remain leaders. Exxon has a market cap of $477 billion, Chevron $267 billion. Exxon holds $15 billion in cash and $447 billion in assets. Chevron has $4 billion in cash and $250 billion in assets. Both companies face sector headwinds from lower oil prices and layoffs. Exxon cut 2,000 jobs. Chevron plans a 20% workforce reduction. Chevron's stock is up 6% year-to-date, Exxon's up 4%, compared to the broader market's 15%. Over 5 years, Exxon stock is up 230%, Chevron over 100%. Their valuation multiples remain above industry averages but below S&P 500 levels. Chevron offers a 4.43% dividend yield, Exxon 3.54%. Both higher than the S&P 500's 1.09%. Analysts currently rate both stocks as holds, noting better entry points may emerge if crude prices stay low. A fire erupts at Chevron's El Segundo refinery near Los Angeles, raising fuel supply. Concerns. The blaze caused no injuries or evacuations, but it comes amid refinery closures tightening California's fuel market. Phillips 66 will close its Los Angeles plant by mid-October, worsening the crunch. The El Segundo refinery supplies 20% of Southern California's motor fuel and 40% of its jet fuel. The incident adds pressure to California, which already faces the nation's highest gasoline prices. LA Mayor Karen Bass reported no impact on the airport. Taiwan refuses a U.S. demand to make half its chips. Billionaire Stanley Druckenmiller dumps Nvidia and Palantir but buys another key AI stock. Mortgage and refinance interest rates rise slightly as of October 2, 2025. A former Des Moines superintendent detained by ICE is federally charged. Trump aides panic after a monumental mistake. Pro-Palestinian protesters reach Italy's soccer training center to oppose a game against Israel. Fire erupts at Chevron's refinery as fuel crunch looms, worsening supply issues in California. Firefighters isolated the blaze quickly, with no injuries reported, but the event underscores California's fragile energy infrastructure. National parks are told to remain open during the shutdown despite risks. Trump's 50% tariffs cause fear in India's apparel industry. A crypto billionaire shifts from pariah to Trump ally. The high-speed rail project between California and Las Vegas faces a $5.5 billion cost increase. NYC raises transit fares as MetroCard nears its end. Trump's housing agency removes lawyers who filed a whistleblower report. Cities use rental registries to close data gaps with landlords. These developments highlight a turbulent political and economic landscape in the U.S. and